carrying on. Well, Lord knows it was a shock to me as well, but I am the oldest. 46, though people tell me I don't look it, and I have always been the sensible one. I said we would have to drop our suitcases, wouldn't we? And surely Jeremy would be seeing to things at the funeral parlour. He could manage that much, couldn't he? Laura said, "Oh, well, I don't know, Amanda." So in the end, I told her we would go on to the funeral parlour, but just stop off first at the house, leave our suitcases, and make sure where Jeremy was. The driver said, "Now can we get going?" A put-upon type. But at least he kept quiet once we were out in traffic. I despise how some taxi drivers will just talk on and on in that tough way they have, giving out their opinions on politics and the cost of living and crime in the streets and other matters I have no interest in. Our mother's house was smack in the middle of the city on a narrow, busy street. One of those thin, dark, 3-story Baltimore row houses. Clutter of leaded panes and straggly ivy and greyish lace curtains dragging their bottoms behind the black screens. The sidewalk leading up to it could break a person's ankle, and yellowy-brown weeds were growing in the cracks. A stained cardboard sign reading "Rooms to Let" was propped in the parlour window. The neighbourhood was running down, had been for years. Most places had split into apartments and gone over to coloured and beatniks, and a few were even boarded up with city notices plastered across the doors. I told Mother time and time again that she should move, but she never got up the energy. She was a stagnant kind of person. I hate to say it now she's gone, but there you are. She didn't even notice what the neighbourhood had turned into. She hardly ever left the house. And over the years, all her possessions had piled around her so. Her knickknacks and photographs, and her shoeboxes full of bits of string. It would have taken 3 vans just to move her. When we drew up in front of the door, I could see the beginnings of her clutter already. The little scrap of a front yard packed with weeds and spiny shrubs, and one great long dead rambling rosebush that had woven itself into everything. That will tell you a good deal about the way she looked at things. She caused no changes. That was Mother for you. She hadn't the courage. If she saw that crack snaking through the mortar, or the grillwork fence slowly leaning toward the ground, all she thought was, "Well, but who am I to alter it?" I have no patience with people like that. We climbed the front steps and went into the vestibule, where we found a flower pot containing a dead twig in a hunk of dry earth. I remembered it from the last time we were home, Easter Sunday, and it was dead then. We rang the bell, but no one answered. There was a cave-like echo behind the door that gave me a chill. I said, "Evidently Jeremy is out." And Laura said, "Out? Out where?" "Why, at the funeral parlour, I should hope," I said. So we left our suitcases in the vestibule, we hadn't a house key, and went back to the cab. I told the driver the name of the funeral parlour. He said, "Oh yes, I know it well, they buried my sister from there." Well, I didn't like the sound of that. Just what had Jeremy got us into anyway? "They do good work," the driver said. Laura and I only looked at each other. We didn't say a thing. Then, when we got there, another row house but some 10 blocks away, and had split the fare between us and decided on the size of the tip, I saw I was right to have worried. There was a neon sign in the yard blinking on and off and crackling. The windows were sooty, and a torn awning dripped rainwater down our necks as we bent to take our galoshes off. And inside, I never saw a place so gloomy. It smelled of dusty radiators. The ceilings were high and flaky, the walls that shade you see in hospitals, either a faded yellow or a yellowed white, you never can be sure. The carpet was worn bald. An usher made his way across it with his run-down loafers dragging. "We are Mrs. Pauling's daughters," I told him. He nodded and turned to lead us down a corridor past a string of rooms where people were standing around looking unsure of what to do next. Laura hung on to my arm. I could feel her trembling. Well, I was quite a bit shaking myself, I admitted. It seemed